Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot. As you can see, I have a pick a card reading for you today that is all about how you impact others. So this is sort of like a life purpose reading if you're familiar with those, but instead of being solely focused on you as the querent, it's more about kind of the ripple effect that you have on others and the world around you, both in the past tense, present tense, and then also kind of the impact you'll have on people by the end of your time here on Earth. So, as always, I have 3 different piles to choose from. For pile number 1s, I have the card Adventures. For pile number 2s, I have Enlightenment. And for pile number 3s, I have Purification as the pile leader card. So whenever you are ready, as always, the timestamps are in the description box or at the top pinned comment in the comments section below. So meditate on these a little bit, decide which pile calls to you, and then click on the timestamp in either of those sections to get your How You Impact Others reading for today, and I'll see you in your reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 1s. Welcome to your pick a card reading today that is all about how you impact others in the world around you, both in the past, present, and future tense. As you recall, the card used to help pick your pile was this lovely Adventures card. So we have, it looks like, could be a parrot, I think. I'm not an expert on tropical birds, but a parrot in the foreground here on some tropical foliage with a whole flock of them flying in the background past a waterfall. So just from this first card that you used to help pick your pile number 1s, I can tell that you are the type of person that is a bit more bold than others, or if you're not quite there yet, that's part of your path that you're going to come to in the future. So even if you're a bit more shy and kind of meek and maybe reluctant to try some new things now, and so this reading doesn't quite feel applicable yet, this is where you're going to be in the future. So someone who's bold, someone who's not afraid to try the unknown or venture into the unknown, someone who goes a lot farther than their immediate group. So this could be both family, as this group I'm speaking or referring to. This could also just be like your friends around you. I don't know if you've moved around a lot. I don't know if you have maybe like your family's been in one place for a very long time for generations, or your friends have, and you're kind of the first one that was bold enough to move beyond that, just to kind of get some insight into your personality and your life so far here. But yeah, I definitely see someone who is bold, someone who is brave, or at least we'll get to that point at some time in the future. But of course, I have some oracle cards to read more into your personality and the trajectory of your future, and yeah, just how you impact others. So, like I said, kind of a beefy reading. I have quite a lot of oracle cards here. Let's look at what we have here for your archetypes cards. So I'm just going to have these first 2 here, because this is kind of your past and your future. So the card you got for your past is King. So light attributes is enlightened, benevolent leadership benefiting those in your charge. Shadow attributes, or on kind of the negative side of this archetype, is excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Okay, so actually I'm just going to set these down here with me for a little bit, because working with some limited space. We put your leader in the middle, and I'm going to put this on the left here. And then your future archetype card, which I'll interpret kind of what this all means in a second, but is child orphan, independence based on learning to go out alone, conquering fear of survival or surviving. Shadow attributes, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation or maturing, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So yeah, pile number 1's already, I'm seeing kind of a movement from one phase of your life where there was a lot of structured authority. Maybe not necessarily good authority. It could be, we'll see what your other cards say, but it could be that you had a lot of issues with an authority figure earlier in your life that wasn't necessarily of the benevolent kind. It could be a parent that you had that ruled with an iron fist is how I'll put it. And maybe that is one of the reasons why you have kind of ventured beyond where your family or your friend group was for a very long time, because you wanted to set out and kind of live your life your way and live it independently. Or if you're not at that point in your life yet, that is a kind of trajectory I'm seeing here. The child and orphan over here as the future card is interesting because, like I said, it's that moving on your own, because it says independence based on learning to go it alone. You know, especially with connection to it being a child archetype, I see that kind of connection with some issue regarding your parents in the past. Like, not necessarily saying you don't love your parents or they don't love you, but it's more, there was something with their authority or their parenting style that just didn't quite click with you as a child, I'm seeing here. And that's one of the main reasons why you are who you are today. So it could be you've had to really rely on what's called found families as an adult. So a found family is, if you're not familiar with that term, it's like not necessarily being with your blood family, but relying more closely on platonic relationships around you or even romantic relationships around you as your family unit because of, you know, issues with your actual blood family. But yeah, even kind of a dreamer aspect here, not just someone who's independent and willing to be bold, but someone who is willing to still see the world kind of in the way that a child does, in a positive aspect. So like I said, a dreamer. Yeah. Let me see if I see anything more here with these two cards. So King, yep. So, yep, that's that authority figure that wasn't necessarily gentle as a child here. And then moving forward to live life in a different way, in the way that you couldn't as a child. Yep, okay. So the next card I have is a card representing the kind of people that you impact. And that is Bully. So light attributes highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. And shadow attribute is conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. So pile number ones, I think the reason why this is the card of the people that you impact a lot, or like specifically with what Spirit is talking about, is because you have dealt with kind of a bully figure in your childhood here. I'm getting the sense that maybe one of your parents was kind of a bully figure to you as a child. Of course, this is a general reading, so it's going to be different for everybody, but I think that's one of the reasons why, as at the age that you are now and throughout your life, you have had an impact on bullies around you because you dealt with a bully in your childhood. And so you already had like very early experience with people like that rely on physical or verbal emotional abuse to control people around them. And you know that you understand the impact of it, or it's even, maybe even not just like bullies around you, like growing up in childhood or even adult bullies. Cause you know, there's people that are just jerks in adulthood. We all know that, right? Some people don't grow out of it, right? But it could also be that you help a lot of other people that are bullied. So people that are just like you, that are victims of verbal and physical abuse. So there's something around, so far, of course, there's a lot more details coming out with the other cards here, but that I'll pull. But there's something here around having harsh authority in childhood, being independent and going and venturing boldly on your own, and helping people both that are bullies or people that were also bullied like you were. So that's kind of the summary of what I'm seeing so far, pile number ones. Let me pull out some of your other oracle cards. Let's see, your surrender card is surrender to non-action. Now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. So, yep, you definitely have a more gentle leadership style. I think you're a leader in your life now, or you will be, pile number ones, but you're not a leader in the way that negative figure was in childhood. And the reason why is because you were exposed to that kind of harsh leadership, and you know that because of the effect it can have on people around negative leaders like that, because of the negative effect it had on you, right? You know how to lead in a more gentle way, in a more non-active way. Let me grab your other final oracle card here. You have the Hawk and Thistle, graceful persistence. So yeah, you're a leader in a way where you're not like really physical and loud about it. You're a leader in a very soft, gentle way, kind of like we said with your surrender to non-action card here. But the hawk and thistle is graceful persistence. This is a leader that kind of, I mean, think about a hawk, right? A hawk isn't an in-your-face bird of prey. It's one that kind of like circles around and it goes slowly and it kind of sees things from above. And then when it sees what it's looking for, then it dives down really quick and then gracefully scoops back up with whatever it's, well, that's more if it's hunting, right? But yeah, you're kind of the same, where you are just a very gentle, quiet giant, I guess is how I would put it. Not physically, but like in the way that you act around other people. And I think other people come to you as a quiet leader that they trust because they know that you're not going to abuse your power over others. You're always going to be a gentle soul and have the best intentions in mind for other people. Yeah, I mean, it could even be that you found in your life so far or in the future that you've had a lot of situations where you have had to defend others a lot. Hence, because like I said, this card I pulled down here is bully, right? And that's the card of the people that you've impacted. So you've had to maybe stand up to bullies a lot. For other people, it could be, if you're working like in an office or at any job that you've had so far, or even in school growing up, or perhaps even in college, you've had to be the leader that was the shield, kind of the paladin is how I would put it for other people, kind of a guiding light, standing up for the little guy, standing up for people that can't stand up for themselves or aren't confident enough to. You're very much like, I almost see it as someone that has a lot of scars of their own, and that's the reason why why you're a shield for others, is because you already have that tough hide. You've already been through a lot, obviously, with your childhood, I think here. Because you have that tough hide, things like standing up to bullies doesn't bother you as much as it might other people that are a little bit more meek or not quite used to it. It could even be that if you're an adult already, there's a job or kind of a purpose for you of protecting children that were dealing with kind of harsh authority figures or parents in their lives like you did when you were young. And it could be like you also defend like adults. It could be you defend animals too. In either way, you're kind of a warrior in a quiet, gentle, defensive way. You're not a warrior that goes out with a sword and, stabs people. You're a warrior that always kind of is a shield for other people, is how I would summarize you, pile number ones. Let's see. I also have some Lenormand cards, if you're not familiar with Lenormand cards. It's kind of like tarot in that it's a system, but it's a little bit more blunt. So I asked Spirit to kind of summarize you with 3 different cards. So let's look at your Lenormand cards. You got the bear. Yep, that makes total sense for you. Very strong, kind of a tough figure. And then you got the man, or the lord as it's known in this deck. I'm going to set these down in the middle. And then you got the cat, which is the dog in most Lenormand decks. So how I would read this together as Lenormand is a person of loyalty and strength, or an authority figure of protection and loyalty. So I also see pile number ones. Your impact on others is that you're very, very loyal. You don't do very well. Perhaps one of your triggers is when people are disloyal. Could be from childhood. Perhaps you had one parent that was disloyal to the other. That maybe is the reason why that kind of, or maybe in childhood you had a friend that betrayed you, and that was kind of an early impactful moment that made you so sensitive to disloyalty and being very loyal to others yourself. But yeah, once again, I see you as a leader figure here for others, pile number ones. I see you as, because bears over here, bears can be kind of scary, right? If you're out in the woods and you see a bear and you're like, oh crap, this strong, tough animal is around me. But actually, usually bears just kind of be left alone, or like they like to be left alone. So that was kind of reflective of that thing that I said earlier, where you're not a leader that goes out with a sword and just like stabs at people. You're a leader that is like a shield. You're like a protective mama or daddy bear is how I would put you. or describe you, pile number ones. So obviously, to summarize with your oracle cards so far, the impact you've had on your life so far on others, or the world around you, or that you will have in the future if you're not quite at this point yet, is you are a gentle, giant, protective entity for people. So people probably, it's not even so much that they come to you for advice, or maybe they have. This is more, you're the type of person that will stand up for what's right quietly and nurturing others kind of in the background to stand up for themselves. It could be that you have had to physically actually like step in, but I think most of the time you're more kind of quietly behind the scenes trying to encourage people to stand up for themselves, up to bullies or to, authority figures or structures that are not serving them or are harming them in some way. So yeah, you're a gentle giant warrior is how I would describe you in one sentence, pile number ones. I also have some tarot cards for you. The first set I have is about your childhood, so I'm just going to get a little bit more nitty-gritty detail on what happened in childhood for you. So let's flip those over. You received, so the Hanged Man. You received the King of Swords reversed. Okay, yep, that's that energy I was telling you about earlier, the harsh authority figure, I think. And then the 10 of Pentacles or coins reversed. The card of legacy. Yeah, I think pile number ones, there are strong messages here of you having an authority figure early on in your life that changed your perspective on how leadership works or should work. This person was, I could even say, maybe verbally abusive here with the King of Swords reversed. Did not know how to use their tongue in an effective way, because the swords are they're the suit of air, which is the suit of communication or like thought or your mind. This is someone who lashes out with their tongue. This is someone who is not wielding the way they say things to others, A, either effectively, or B, far too harshly. I think for most of you this is a father figure, because you got the King earlier from your past card. So male energy is what I'm getting. A father figure that was maybe verbally abusive, or just was very tough and had an iron fist, and maybe didn't really praise you that much, maybe didn't stand up for you much, someone that just kind of was not effective in the way that they raised you regarding what they said or things that they said, especially because with the 10 of Pentacles reversed here, that's the card of legacy. But reversed, I see it as almost a refusal to inherit that same trait. So perhaps that's where the Hangman comes in, and why you're so different from that authority figure in your childhood is because, like I said before, you saw the effect of a harsh leader on yourself. So you vowed, I'm never going to be like that to other people. And that's why you're so effectively, or you're such an effective, gentle giant kind of defender type person to other people in your life, is because you are the warrior or the person holding the shield for others that you didn't have in your childhood or your earlier years. Or, like I said, if you're not quite at this point yet, maybe you're still in kind of the throes of this authority figure having harsh impacts on you. In the future, that's the trajectory of where that lesson in life will go, is that you're going to be a defender of other people. I also see perhaps a focus on speaking very gently and eloquently and carefully, very carefully choosing your words. Perhaps you're not the type of person that, blah, 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 blabs kind of like, what's the word? I don't want to say indiscriminately. But you choose your words very, very carefully, because you know the impact that words can have on people. It could be even things that this person in your childhood said to you that still have an impact on you to this day in a negative way. And that's why you are so careful with your words. That's why you're so careful with the way that you word things to other people. And once again here with the 10 of Pentacles reversed, like I said, this is like the legacy card, but a lot of children figures here. So I don't know if you work with children, especially in conjunction with your child orphan card here as your present or future card. I don't know if you're a teacher. I don't know if you work with children in like a psychological way, but it seems that, especially here with like the bully thing too, maybe if you are a teacher, because of your childhood, you're so sensitive to bullies, you see very effectively the effective bullies on children at the school that you teach at if you are a teacher, or in any capacity that you work with children. It could be even that you help prevent children from, or you take them away from abusive situations, being the warrior and defender for other children that you didn't have as a child. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Let's see, your next set of tarot cards here is, sorry, I'm just looking at my list. I have a lot of cards here, so I just want to make sure that I'm getting the right set here. How you helped already. So this is how you've already helped people so far in your life. So you received the King of, let me see, that was actually, yes. Okay, so King of Pentacles, upright. You received the Nine of Pentacles reversed, and the Two of Pentacles reversed. Lots with money, lots with career, lots with material world things. So this is how you've helped people already. Yeah, leader energy here with the King of Pentacles or coins upright. You can see it's like the turtle with the world tree on their back, holding the tree up. You were a stable figure in your life, or you have been for people already. You are the person that people come to or turn to when they need someone to help support them, to kind of hold a burden on your back for them, not in an over encumbered way, like not just, people taking advantage of you, unless that maybe has been an issue so far, and that's something you'll kind of grow out of, is, learning to set boundaries a little bit better. But yeah, you're a stable figure in people's lives. You are a King of Pentacles, the King of the Earth, someone who lets others or supports others' growth by being the stable foundation emotionally on which they can kind of rely on. So it could be, if you already have children, you've been like a very great figure to them, or authority figure to them that you didn't have when you were a child. It could be with your friends. You've already had a really good impact on helping them grow, being very dependable and loyal for them. Let me look at your other cards here. So the Nine of Pentacles reversed is, so the Nine of Pentacles reversed to me speaks of, you've done it in a very quiet, subtle way, like we talked about earlier with your oracle cards. You're not the smug type of person where you're like, oh, look at me, I'm so loyal and I'm so dependable. Like, it's not, you don't advertise that you're a really great friend to people. It's a very quiet, silent energy of and maybe it's even, people don't notice how you support them because it is such a quiet way that you go about it. Like, it might even be, like, let's say, like, someone was hard up on money, right? And they're like, oh God, I don't know how I'm going to make my rent this month. And it might be that you're the type of person who would, accidentally drop a certain amount of money in the parking lot right before they got there, knowing that they would be the one to pick it up. Like, it's almost in a very subtle way that people don't notice, because you're not the type of person to go and brag about how supportive and loyal you are. So you're definitely, that quiet energy, that quiet warrior, quiet protector. Sorry, 1 second. I'm going to take a drink because my voice is getting a little scratchy. So with the Two of Pentacles here, excuse me, with the Two of Pentacles reversed here, you also help correct imbalance in people's lives. It could also be that if you're not a teacher, you also help people balance their finances, because there's a lot of pentacles here. So the pentacles is all about the material world and careers. It could also be you help people find their work-life balance in some way relating to job or people's money or their homes. You have a role, or you have had a role already in helping them find balance in that way. So it could be balancing their finances, helping people choose homes. It could be that you work in real estate. It could also be that you help people, like, what's another example I'm trying to think of? So real estate, balancing finances, balancing work-life balance. So perhaps you work as a therapist for people, or that, keep in mind, this is maybe, if it's not stuff that you've already done, it could be stuff that you're kind of on a trajectory in the future, but this is kind of like how you've helped people already. So I think this is mostly past energy. So yeah, real estate, helping people balance finances, could be a financial manager type energy, or advisor, I should say, is probably a better term, or people choosing homes, people, yeah, and then work-life balance could be like a therapeutic setting that you've helped people in. So that's the kind of role I see with you here and the impact that you've already had on people. And even if it isn't something related to a job, it could be things that you do for your family or your friends, or if you have children, you do for your children, where you're really good about teaching them about financial responsibility. You're really good about teaching them, loyalty, or just being a very financially responsible, loyal person that inspires other people to be like that in your life so far. Okay, and then for the last set of cards, I have advice from Spirit and kind of a near future predictory, sort of like how to keep going with this, or things that'll happen related to how you impact others in the future in this way. So you received the 9 of Wands reversed for the first card. Oh man, you don't give up. That's a good thing. Knight of Cups, Knight in Shining Armor, pile number 1s. And the Empress. So femininity could be having children. Maybe you are expecting children on the way here soon. In which case, if you are expecting children or you intend to have children in the future, this is also an impact you'll have on them, is being that gentle giant parent to them that you didn't maybe necessarily have when you were a child. Could be just working with children again still in the future here with the Empress, because it can also be a card of pregnancy. So that doesn't always literally mean pregnancy, but it could indicate just like the presence of children in your life is how I would put that. But yeah, and then the Knight of Cups is just keep following your heart. This is a Knight in Shining Armor. This is someone who is very passionate about just setting forth where their heart guides them. So pile number 1's, part of your advice here is to look for opportunities to help. It could also be you help mothers too. So I don't know if you do have some sort of idea you've been entertaining about helping like mother figures in some way. That could be one avenue to take. Kind of almost a savior figure here, especially like I said, the Knight of Cups is like the Knight in Shining Armor. Maybe helping battered woman. Maybe helping woman during their pregnancy is kind of a thing I'm seeing here, as maybe one path you could possibly take next if you're looking to kind of change the course of your life here. And then the 9 of Wands reversed here is about not giving up. Feeling like you want to give up, but not giving up. So I don't know what you're doing right now, pile number 1s, because this is a general reading. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. But whatever it is, when it comes to what you're doing about like following your heart, whatever path that may be, if it's real estate, helping battered woman, being a financial advisor, so all the different things I kind of mentioned so far, keep following your heart. Don't give up, because you're almost there. That's kind of what the Knight of Wands reverse says. And keep just focusing on growth, keep focusing on helping people, because you are a very rare breed of person that is always like consistently dependable to people. You're kind of like a foundational rock for a lot of people in your life. I've seen either so far or, you will be on this path that you're taking here in the near future, following your heart. Yeah. So let me see if there's any other things that pop out to me with your reading here. We already covered kind of your childhood, potential jobs, kind of the impact you've had on others. So yeah, I mean, I guess if I were to summarize this pile number 1's, you're a quiet, gentle giant leader that others rely on for great advice when it comes to the material world, so jobs and money. You could also have a lot of impact on children in your life, either as like a teacher or in your job or some way, or maybe children of your own. Keep going, don't give up, keep following your heart, and keep following that urge to not be the person, or to at least be better than the person or the father figure I'm seeing for a lot of you that you had as a child. Like, keep following that path of being that figure, or excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. Keep following the path of being better than that authority figure in your childhood for other people in your life. So someone who's stable, dependable, is not harsh with their words, is very gently encouraging and supporting of others. Because I see already here, whoever this figure in your early life was, this, like I said, for a lot of you, I think it's a father figure, you've already bypassed them in this way, I'm seeing a long time ago. So, like I said, it's generating. Everyone's age is different, but yeah, pile number ones, you're the gentle giant warriors. You are the dependable ones. You're bold. You're willing to go past boundaries of seeing things from a different perspective and being better to others than others were to you. And that is really hard in life, but it is very, very commendable, pile number ones. I get very gentle, strong, supportive energy here. So I hope that reading was helpful for you, my lovely pile number ones. I will see you in the next reading, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Hello, pile number twos. Welcome to your pick a card reading today that is all about how you impact or have impacted others in the world around you in your life. As you recall, the card you used to help pick your pile was the card of Enlightenment. So that's a pretty broad spectrum or a pretty broad area for your impact on others. It could be that you're a person who brings a lot of light to others in your life in terms of clarity. So perhaps a lot of people come to you to get clarity on situations. It could also be you're sort of a pathfinder for other people or a leader in terms of helping others find out how to move forward with knowledge and confidence is what I'm seeing so far, pile number twos. Let me see if there's anything else with your pile leader card. Obviously, you see we have a lot of cards today. This is kind of a beefy reading because I got really excited about this one. This is one that's kind of an important message for me to send to you. But yeah, someone who is like the lantern that other people hold, piercing through the fog on their path in life. It could be that you had some issues yourself in the past, or maybe if you're currently still in that phase of your life, figuring out where you want to go or how to go about it, and that's why in the present or in the future you'll help others kind of find their path. And not just in a physical, like ABC, how to get from this point to this point, but also you help others, I see here, finding their way with purpose, not just, one foot in front of the other, like the steps, but also how to do it in a way that aligns with what's important to them. So a little bit vague right now. Obviously, like I said, there's a lot of other cards, but yeah, you're kind of a Voyager pathfinder for other people so far. I'm seeing pile number twos. I'm going to set your cards down here with me for a bit, and we'll kind of go through them section by section. Let's put your Enlightenment up here in the middle. And the first two cards I have are kind of the past you and the future you, or kind of the impact you've had on others in the past, and then what will happen in the future. So these are Archetype cards. You have so number one is Victim. Prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others in the light way. In the shadow attribute way, playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity and ability to maintain personal boundaries. And then for the future card, we have Child Eternal. So light attributes, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. But on the shadow side, inability to grow up and be responsible, kind of a little bit of a Peter Pan thing there, right? Extreme dependency on others for physical security. So, yeah, paving the way for others or helping others find their way. I think what happened with you, pile number twos, is that in the past, you may have struggled with being a victim of others, and not in like a accusatory way, or I'm not saying that you let yourself be a victim, but you were a victim in some way of not feeling like you had the personal power to get yourself out of a situation, or feeling like you were a victim of not having the personal power to forge your own path ahead in life. It could have been that you just struggled with a lot of, like sometimes I had a friend when I was younger who, just as an example, who really wanted to do one thing when it came to deciding her major in college, but her mother really, really wanted her to do a different thing because when she was young, she hadn't been able to do that career that she had wanted, so she was going to make her daughter do it. So I'm saying with you, pile number two, is I think why that came up intuitively for me is maybe you had issues with like your parents trying to decide your path for you, or just authority figures in your life in general when you were younger. And in that way you were kind of a victim in terms of not being able to forge ahead or knowing how to forge ahead with your own purpose, feeling like you were kind of trapped in having to go forward with the way that other people wanted you to go forward. It could also just be a general societal thing of, in society we think the milestones that everyone has to go in life are, A, B, C, and if you don't have A, B, C, then you're not living a fulfilling life, which isn't true because everyone's life is different and everyone is fulfilled in different ways. So it could be you're kind of a pathfinder in that way. Pile number 2 is where you find the path through life authentically or find paths in life for yourself and others in an authentic way that aligns with true purpose, because in the past seems like you maybe had issues with being able to follow your true purpose authentically. So that's what I'm seeing here with your past card. Could also be, especially here, like it says, inability to maintain personal boundaries. It could have been boundaries with other people other than just your parents. It could be boundaries in romantic relationships that you had a hard time keeping up. It could be boundaries with friends. Maybe people used you. Maybe people took advantage of you in some way. But it seems here with the future card, the Child Eternal. Let me look at that for 1 second. What I'm seeing here is that this purpose of yours that you were unable to follow on your own because of other people overstepping your boundaries or like your personal ability to decide things for yourself was something that you've wanted to do since you were a child. So this is like almost a reconnection with who you are or who you were when you were a child. It is part of this path, and I think how you help others or how you impact others or that you will in the future is you're going to help people find their way, that lantern or that North Star that reconnects with who they were, what they valued as children, kind of like core values that they had. Like, for example, like let's say you're helping someone who as a child really liked gardening and like plants, right? So maybe they lost that over time because, let's say the world told them, well, being a gardener isn't valuable or whatever, which it is. But, society and people around us sometimes say things like that. And so maybe because, like this example person became unaligned with that purpose of, I really like gardening. So perhaps in a guiding role to this just example person, you would be the person to tell them, hey, I really think that gardening thing that you did as a child is aligned with your true purpose of nurturing people, of, nurturing the world, nurturing the earth, right? And you help people get back to who they truly are at the core of themselves under all those layers of what society and other people tell us that we have to be. So I guess another word for you, pile number 2, is authenticity. You're a person of being a guidepost or a guiding light of authenticity and purpose in people's lives I'm seeing here. So yeah, I do have a lot of cards, so I'm going to get to those. But yeah, so far, you're a Pathfinder, you're a Voyager. You're kind of like pile number 1s, but you more do it in a way of pointing out to people, hey, this is your true north, and then you let people kind of take it from there of, oh, this is my true north. I recognize that now after I lost it so many years ago or however long ago, and this is what I want to follow. So that's the impact you have on your others in your life so far, and I'm kind of seeing as to why from your past with the victim card. So I also have a card here that is about the type of people you impact generally or most commonly, and you received Destroyer. So in the positive way, light attributes, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. But on the shadow side, intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. So, kind of like we were saying with your past here, pile number 2 is, it's either that you impact people that were like the authority figures from your childhood that were trying to kind of control it, like your path in life, or society was kind of trying to control your path in life, in teaching them the value of letting their children or people in their lives choose paths that align with their own purpose or their own likes and dislikes themselves. It could also be you have an impact on people that tend to self-destroy in terms of self-sabotage, I guess is a better word for that. Like, let's say you have a friend that is saying like, oh, I really want to do this with my life. I really am drawn to this particular thing. but I don't think I'm good enough for it. I don't think, I have the money for it. I don't think, insert reason here, right? You're the type of person that stops other people from self-sabotaging, from following their true dreams, I'm seeing here. So it's kind of that aspect of both helping people that are controlling see the value of letting others decide things for themselves. So it could be like helping parents realize, hey, let your children, be who they want to be and do what they want to do. It could also be helping the actual people that are having a hard time following their dreams, either because of self-sabotage or because of other factors or people in their life, have the strength to go forward and create a life that they want for themselves. Like, it's not just living for other people, Let me see if I see anything else with this card. Yeah, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. And it's funny because this is a volcano, right? And volcanoes are actually, we think of them as like these really destructive, fiery things, right? Cascading down, setting things on fire with magma and whatnot, but they actually create life too, because a lot of islands are actually from igneous rock from volcanoes. So it could be you also help people pick up the pieces after they've had destructive parts of their lives or destructive habits in their life, and helping them create the foundations for a more supportive life for themselves, and getting away from those destructive habits. So yeah, you're like a mentor type guiding figure, pile number 2 is what I'm seeing. Let's look at your 2 other oracle cards here. We have the Fox and Ivy, which is adaptability. So being very clever, adapting. Ivy is a type of plant, it's kind of a clinging vine plant that clings to other things and moves around, hence the adaptability. It's something that kind of adapts to its surroundings, right? As are foxes. Foxes are very clever. That's kind of their known attribute. And then you also have the card, surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Yes. So this could also be a symbol that you help people in your life, or if you're not quite there yet, this is something you'll be doing in the future, of opening their heart again. I don't know, it depends on your beliefs, but if you believe in like the chakra system, it could be you help a lot of people open their heart chakra, is kind of what I'm seeing here. Being willing to be vulnerable, helping them open themselves to vulnerability to other people, especially in terms of like, this is kind of a romantic scene here, so it could be like a dating coach type vibe, or it could just be like friends that you give advice to, or family, it could be as well. But not just in a romantic way though, because another thing about being vulnerable is not just being vulnerable to the other people around us, it's also being vulnerable to what we truly want and admitting it and being honest about it. So like I was saying before, with that way that you help other people in following their dreams, and also the way that you've kind of had to follow that lesson in your life, there's strength in being open about what you really want, despite what other people tell you or what society tells you, right? And then the adaptability here is interesting, because I'm almost seeing with this card for you, pile number 2, is you've had to do a lot or make a lot out of little. I don't know if there was struggles in the past with really harsh living situations or financial situations, and still being able to follow your dreams, kind of winding past those obstacles. There's something there with that. Maybe your other cards will kind of give us more detail, but I also have Lenormand cards for you, because I asked Spirit to kind of just summarize you as a person with Lenormand cards. If you're not familiar with Lenormand cards, they're like tarot in that they're a system, but they're a bit more blunt. So let's see what you got. You received the Fortress, or the Tower, the Fish, and the Flowers, or the Garden. So in Lenormand, this translates almost kind of like to a word in a sentence, right? Each card. So pile number 2 is you are someone that does business with protecting beauty or protecting gifts, or it's like an exchange of protecting the environment. It could be here with like the garden. There's something about, if you're not there yet, and this is kind of confusing to you now, this could be an inclination towards jobs where you have a business regarding protection. So it could be like security. It could be protecting the environment. I don't know, maybe if you work in like botany or like environmental sciences, or it could be actually a beauty business as well, because the gift or the meadow flowers card can mean beauty. So it could be beauty business, protecting beauty, protecting... this could be like depends on the country you're in, but at least in the US, we have people that have jobs where their main job is just to protect, like government land, like national parks and whatnot. That could be another sort of thing here. Fishing too. Something to do with the environment and business and protecting it is what I'm seeing for you, pile number 2s. So that is, I think, for you, what is aligned with what you really want to do with your life, or what you really wanted to do with your life that maybe at first you weren't able to follow because of those rigid structures when you were young. But yeah, you're like a defender of the environment, or you're like something to do with beauty or protection. That's what I'm seeing for you. And let me look at the rest of your oracle cards, see if we get anything else that pops out here. So we have Enlightenment, lighting the way for others. It could also be that you teach other people about how to protect the environment, or you teach other people about beauty. Let's see. Yeah, especially with the volcano and all the nature imagery here. There's something that you do with... it could be like green energy too, especially with adaptability. I'm getting strong environmental vibes from you, pile number 2s, but if that doesn't apply to you, it could be something to do with beauty as well, or some sort of business where you protect environments. It could also be like landscaping too, or hey, gardening, like I was saying before. Actually, maybe the gardening example was pertinent. Yeah. Or in general, it just seems you're a very outdoorsy person. Like you're very attuned with nature. Maybe you went to nature a lot as kind of a salve or a balm for your emotional health throughout your life. Yeah, okay. So I have 3 sets of tarot cards. The first set is about your childhood. We're going to get some more details about what your childhood was like. So first up, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the 6 of Wands. And then we have the 5 of Swords reversed. So I see a lot of conflict in your childhood here, pile number 2s, regarding stability or money. The 5 of Swords reversed is a battle or conflict of some sort, where no one really wins. King of Pentacles reversed is lack of stability, especially with authority figures. I don't know if maybe one of the reasons why you felt pressured to go a certain route in your life was because someone in your generational history of your family struggled with financial stability, and so they really focused on trying to impress that upon you, but at the same time ignored what you really wanted to do with your life. It could even be that, they were trying to push you into it out of protecting you, but really what they were doing was there was a feeling of stifling you. Sorry, I'm going to take a drink 1 second. My voice is kind of scratchy today. And there's especially a focus here on victory, of public acclaim here with the 6 of Wands. This is the card of being cheered on, public victory, doing well in the eyes of society. I see here from your childhood a lot of focus on, like material stability, public acclaim, and a lot of conflict over those things. I don't know if maybe one of your parents was a public figure in your community. It could also be that they had a lot of high dreams for you, and they saw it as protecting you or impressing values upon you that they thought were important, but really what it was doing was causing a lot of inner pain for you, pile number 2s, and that's why your impact on others in your life is all about, and the world around you actually is about, helping others find the strength to follow what they really want to do in life, despite what others and society says around them, like I was saying. Yep. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of generational pressure here. I don't know if there's something in your family with financial stability that they were really worried about for you, but just because of the career choice or the life path choice they wanted for you. But yeah. All right, so the next section is how you've helped people already. So let's look at those cards here. You have Strength reversed. Yep, finding strength, helping other people find their strength. You have the Eight of Wands, something about speed. Interesting. And then the Page of Pentacles, or Coins as it's known in this deck. How you've helped people already. Yep, finding their strength. Helping people find the strength to carry their torch of like their passions and the things that they really want to do with speed. I don't know if there's something you've already done with other people where you have like a, I don't know if it's like lending money to people with new business ideas or helping them get off the ground faster, hence like the speed with the Eight of Wands. It's like you help bring, and even if it's not necessarily a career thing that you're doing here, it could be with family and friends, you help encourage people to go after their dreams faster, maybe because you weren't able to pursue your dreams as quickly as you had wanted to in your life. And then the Page of Pentacles here is interesting because this is like exploratory, like the exploratory stage when it comes to like money or business. So I don't know if you help with people's business ideas or there's something about like you've helped people find the strength to go forward faster and explore things in terms of money and passions or like a business. I don't know if you're like a business advisor. Some kind of role like that, pile number 2, is this is how you've helped people already. Or like I said, if it's not an official capacity, it could also be you've helped people just with advice in this area in your life. Yeah. Yeah, you help people, you help connect passion with finances or material wealth and helping people find the strength to follow those things that they really want to do. A lot of fire from the sky imagery here too, yeah. Yeah, you help people with confidence, I think, pile 2s, or you have already. All right, and then the last set of cards I have for you is kind of advice for you and also kind of near future things to look out for in this area of how you impact others. So the cards you received are the Page of Cups. So kind of a surprise is one interpretation of the Page of Cups. It could also be just exploring something in terms of the heart or your feelings, emotions. We'll see what your other cards say. The Knight of Swords, going boldly and quickly. Like I keep hearing just do it. I don't know if you tell people that a lot, like just do it. Or it's they're telling you to if there's an idea in your mind right now of something you want to do, just do it. Because the Knight of Swords is all about going for quickly. I mean, you can even see in the background here, there's a lot of like movement here, energy. Yeah, and then you have the Nine of Swords reversed. So that's about reducing anxiety and depression. Yeah, so in terms of the impact of you have on people in the world around you or just people around you and in the world in general, I kind of split that into 2 different things. Advice in the near future. In the near future for you. Yeah, reducing anxiety. So if you haven't gotten to this part of your life yet, pile number 2s, they're saying to, like, if you've already had an idea to go down a career path that allows you to do this thing for other people, they're saying don't worry about it so much, because I just see with the Nine of Swords here is like anxiety and depression, right? They're saying to reduce that. So focus on your mental health a bit here. It could also be that there's someone in your life right now that needs help reducing their anxiety over something, and hence that's where you come in really strongly, is you're that person that reduces anxiety for other people in terms of, you know, hey, don't worry about it, follow your dreams, you know, follow that passion in your life, don't let anxiety and fear just hold you back from doing what you want to do, right? Go forth boldly, do it quickly. And then the Page of Cups here is It could be you're helping a romantic partner in this area, is possibly one interpretation of this reading here. A romantic partner. I don't know if you're in business with a partner of some sort, and maybe they're hesitating a bit, and you're like, oh, come on, let's go. Or if it comes to that point, they're saying as advice to help reduce their anxiety in starting this business venture with you, and go about it quickly, hence the Knight of Swords upright. I'm going to pull one more tarot card for you, pile number 2, just because I want to know if they could give me a little bit more context. Spirit, could you give me one more card for pile number 2 regarding this near future advice? All right, I'm going to pick this one here. The Chariot reversed. Yeah, something to do with hesitation in terms of willpower or moving forward. I don't know if it's that you're hesitating in some way, or someone that you know or giving advice to is hesitating in some way, but they're saying, if it's you, do not hesitate to go forth boldly with this thing that you're wanting to do. Or if it's someone else that you're advising or helping, do your absolute best to help encourage them to move forward, because there's a lot of movement cards here, Knight of Swords and the Chariot reversed. Go forth boldly with control and precision. Do it in a heartfelt way, hence the Page of Cups. A very gentle, nurturing way that helps reduce their anxiety, but gets them going. Or, like I said, if this is yourself, they're saying, don't be hesitant with this idea or this path that you're trying to pursue here as advice for you in the near future. Let me see if I have any other messages for you, pile number 2s. So adaptability, moving from a victim to someone that charges forth boldly. Yeah, like I said, a lot of environmental protection here, I see. Could be that even if that's not your job, that's kind of an interest of yours. Like I said, you're probably an outdoorsy person, I'm saying. Maybe you're a gardener. And I don't know if you have black hair, pile number 2s, or dark hair. Like, there's a lot of dark-haired figures here. Sorry, that's not part of the reading, but that just popped out. I'm like, everyone here has dark hair. Yeah. Except she's got blonde hair, but, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure there's not any other messages. Yeah, go forth boldly, pile number 2s. Or encourage other people to go forth boldly and quickly. A lot of similar messages here. And if you're still struggling with that person in your life that is discouraging you from following your own path, like if that's something that's a present energy, this is also a go ahead to just forego other people trying to control and take the reins of your life, and taking the reins yourself to guide the chariot, so to speak, of your life in the direction that you want to go. Yeah. They're saying, don't worry, the universe has your back here with this. And also the people that you help inspire to charge forth boldly with their own dreams. So yeah, to summarize, pile number 2 is you're go-getters. You're people that, had to kind of break away from tradition to follow your own dreams, or that is a path that you're going to be going on here if you haven't already gotten to that point in your life. You're someone who used to let people, or maybe currently let people, drive the reins of your life, but either in the future or already now, you've learned how to do that, to take the reins yourself and guide your own direction in life, and your impact on other people in the world around you is to inspire and advise others to take the reins themselves of the direction of their life that they want to go. It could also be if you work with people with addictions. A lot of times people with addictions, it's the addiction has the reins over their life, right? Or it could be like mental health issues, like depression can kind of have control of people's lives, right? When they're suffering from depression or anxiety, it's giving people that personal power back to drive forward in life the way that they want to go, either from like their own like mental things that are holding them back, or emotional things that are holding them back, or it could also be general confidence issues that are holding them back, or people in their life that are kind of trying to influence them to go ways that maybe they don't want to go. So yeah, your guiding light, your enlightenment, pile number 2, is you help people see the path forward that was within them all along. They just didn't see it until you kind of pointed it out. So you're an illuminator, pile number 2s, for other people. That's the impact you have. So pile number 2s, I hope that reading was helpful for you. I will see you in another reading sometime, I hope. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Hello, pile number 3s. Welcome to your pick a card reading today that is all about how you have or currently do or will impact others and the world around you. As you recall, the card used to help pick your pile is the card of Purification. We have a sunflower here growing in a field of sunflowers underneath kind of a summery rain. So already so far, pile number 3s, how you impact others is something to do with the way in your life you've transmuted harder times to better times, or how you advise others to take either negative things like pain or being down on their luck, or, you know, things like a lack of confidence, just negative things in general, to more positive things like, you know, success, doing better in life, being more confident, being more happy, right? You're the type of person that I almost would kind of describe you, if I had to use one word, as like an alchemist, where you transmute things into gold, is how I would put that. So, excuse me, my voice is a little scratchy today. Obviously, I have a lot of cards for you. This is a bit of a beefy reading. I wanted to do a longer reading today because I feel like this is an important thing for you to hear. So I'm going to set your leader in the middle here and most of your cards down here with me, and we'll go through them section by section. So yeah, you're an alchemist, pile number 3s. You purify things. Okay. First up, I have a card that's kind of like your past and your future. We have the archetypes. So in the past, we had the poet. So light attribute expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Shadow attribute turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. And in your future, I have the lover. Light attributes great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow attributes obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. So, pile number 3s, I think in your past, there was a figure in your life, or just people in your life, that did not know how to speak well to you. This could be like verbal abuse. This could be you were perhaps bullied a lot. I see kind of a sensitive figure that, you know, perhaps you have done a lot of writing, or you did when you were younger, hence the poet, you know. I always get kind of Shakespeare vibes, right, from both poet and lover right here. Could be also music, hence lyrics, poetry in general, writing, either short form like short stories or long form like novels. Always kind of a sensitive creative soul I'm seeing for you. It could be that you used to lose yourself a lot in creative passions because of a more difficult childhood, hence that alchemist thing I was saying earlier, where you take pain and you transmute it to gold, because a lot of creative types do that. They take their pain and they turn it into, you know, a painting or a song or some sort of creative outlet. You know, it could be anything from any type of media, right? Or medium, I should say. Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, there could be someone in your past that did not know how to speak very well to you, or maybe a lot of people just didn't treat you very well in terms of the things that they said to you. Could be bullies, could be a parental figure that wasn't very positive in the way they spoke to you, hence the shadow attribute here of taking a gift, you know, lyric gift to a negative or destructive effect. It could also just be, you know, someone that knocked your confidence a lot when you were younger. Even it could just be yourself that knocked your confidence when you were younger, kind of self-sabotage type things. In either way, it was like you didn't really have... You felt like you couldn't express yourself a lot, I'm seeing here, in earlier years of your life, pile number 3s. And part of your lesson, if you haven't already worked through it already, is transmuting that to the lover over here, which the attributes are great passion and devotion and unbridled appreciation of someone or something. So not being so ashamed of the things that you love, not being so ashamed of the, like, expressing appreciation or expressing passion of, you know, whatever it is that you like to do creatively or the things that you love in general. Being open and honest about it, having kind of a open, being bold with the world about what it is that you like to do, I guess, and not hiding it away so much. We also see here with self-destructive devotion, it could be that in the past you had struggled with, I'm thinking like an addiction of some sort, and that could be many different things. This is a general reading, so for everybody it could be different, but it could be alcohol. It could be an addiction to, like video games or something, or an addiction to drugs. Just addiction in general is how I'll put it, because like I said, general reading, everyone's going to be different. But part of your lesson, if you haven't already gotten past it, is taking the pain from those things that stifled your voice, the things that change you, and purifying it into expression. So if you haven't already, I think you're already being encouraged to write or paint or do some sort of creative thing where it talks about the harder times in your life, pile number 3s. And I think that's where you'll have an impact on other people if you haven't had already, is that a lot of times, the greatest advice I ever got when it came to writing is something I like to do personally, was to speak truly and speak honestly, speak with specificity, because a lot of times the reason why we like the things that we do in terms of creative medium, like, painting, writing, music, etc., is because there's something into it that we can connect, that we're seeing that the artist themselves is portraying. So you're being encouraged just to be honest, or to keep being honest if you're already at that point in your life with the things that you love to do, because somewhere out there you'll have an impact on somebody where they'll understand, oh, I'm not alone in this. Someone else has gone through this thing too, or someone else feels this way. So you're an alchemist. You're someone that has transmuted a lot of pain into something, to be loved and to be expressed. So, sorry, I spoke a lot about those, but a lot of messages were coming through. Let me get to your next card, which is what type of people you generally impact. So you received Hedonist. So light attributes inspires creative energy, like I was saying, to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. Shadow attributes pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. So I think so far in your life, pile number 3s, or you will at some point, inspire a lot of other creative people to be bold and honest about, the things that they like and the things that they want to say through their medium, whatever that medium may be. I think, if you haven't pursued like music or art or writing already, you're going to be, if you decide to go down that path, you're going to be the type of person that spurs on a lot of other people to kind of follow that same path. Like, I'm not sure how exactly like worldwide impactful, so I'm not going to say you're going to be like as popular as, I don't know, like the Beatles or Shakespeare, but you know what I mean? Like, those are really big, grand examples, but in some way there's going to be a ripple effect from your works, your creative works, and the things that you say to others that will inspire them to be creative as well. Also celebrating the beauty in yourself. It could be that you have an impact on others, in that people that have like low self-esteem or a low vision of themselves, maybe that's kind of where you had a lot of pain earlier in your life too, is you had lower self-esteem, hence your inability to kind of speak honestly, or your fear to speak honestly, or who you were, or there's a person in your life that used words to hurt you and that impacted your self-esteem, hence why maybe you felt kind of reluctant at first to be open about these things. But yeah, you're kind of the similar things that you went through, the lessons that you have learned or that you will learn, you'll inspire others to I'm getting a lot of, if you're familiar with the chakra system, a lot of throat chakra, speaking honestly, opening that throat chakra, right? Also the heart too. And then let's see, shadow attributes, pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. I don't know if you've, we were talking about the addiction thing earlier. If you have had an addiction, it could also be that you're going to have an impact on other people that have suffered with addictions because of your own experience with them, if that's something that applies to you. Like it says, pursues pleasure to the detriment of health. So that could be overeating, like in the picture. It could be drug addiction, alcoholic addiction, addictions of things that are even not that we ingest. It could be just in general, helping other people get past their addictions. And perhaps the way that you'll impact them, or you already have, is using creativity to bypass or get over those addictions, and using their pain to help them inspire creative projects that helps them recover from whatever it was that caused those addictions is kind of what I'm seeing for you, pile number 3. So not only inspiring other creative people, but also there could be an aspect of helping people that have addictions using creativity to bypass or get over those addictions. So let me see. We also have 2 other oracle cards here. We have Metamorphosis, the frog, and Lotus. Yep. Metamorphosis. So changing, that's that alchemy thing I was just saying before, and I promise I didn't read this before I put all the cards down. It's kind of a hammer message is what I call it in readings where there's a repeated message. So alchemy, metamorphosis, changing, like a lotus that starts in the mud of the pond up to the water and blooming on the surface, right? Also, frogs are metamorphosis. They start as little tadpoles and they change into bigger frogs, right? Transmuting things from darker times and pain and blossoming on the surface where they can breathe and they can be open with who they are or what they believe in. And then you also have surrender to silence. Throat chakra things again. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. Yep, a lot about speaking your truth. A lot about what you say or what you don't say, or what you share with the world here. Transmuting darker times into beauty is kind of what I'm saying here for you pile number 3s. Yeah, a lot of creativity here. You're very artistic people, pile number 3s, I'm saying. Or if you aren't already, that's something that you're being very strongly encouraged towards. Perhaps, especially if you're still on the journey of that metamorphosis from painful times to beautiful times, right? All right, and then I asked Spirit to summarize you with Lenormand cards. If you're not familiar with Lenormand, they're like tarot in that they're a system, but they're a bit more blunt. So Lenormand gave me the whip, the clouds, and the woman, okay? So I would read that in Lenormand as a gaslighting woman or feminine energy, or whipping away confusion when it comes to a woman. So I wonder if in your life, pile number 3s, you had a feminine figure that was gaslighted you in some way. It could be that figure in your childhood I was seeing that would speak things to you that ruined your self-esteem, or in general just had issues with verbal abuse upon you, something with gaslighting here, and it's like you are a person that's had to do a lot of work to whip away that clarity, or that lack of clarity, about who you really are deep down inside, pile number 3s. You've had to do a lot of backbreaking work on that. Even to the point of maybe you almost had to reform your identity in a whole way, because who you thought you were wasn't actually who you were, because of things like addiction bearing you down, or things like people trying to take down your self-esteem, or gaslighting you into believing things that aren't true about yourself. Yep, that's what I'm seeing here, pile 3s. Yeah, you definitely are like a lotus figure, kind of coming up through the mud and blooming afterwards. Metamorphosis, alchemy. Yeah, someone with a really strong tongue, I think, has been in your life. Yeah, I get a feminine figure, but that's not necessarily true, but for everybody, but feminine figure with a harsh tongue. And then you having to kind of really strongly break away that lack of clarity about who you are as a person. All right, next section is your childhood. So let's get some more details on that. You received the 10 of Wands reversed. All right, burdens, 2 of coins, and the 9 of coins reversed. Your childhood, pile number 3s. I think some of you might have had a single parent, is what I'm getting here. A parent that had to do a lot of balancing with money and material things, and a parent that had to do a lot of like, I guess what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of financial burden in your childhood is what I'm seeing here, pile number 3s. And I think a lot of you had a single parent, or one parent was just not very, what's the word? One parent of yours might have been kind of absent, and the other parent had to kind of hold a lot of the load. It could also be the death of a parental figure in your family when you were young, hence why the other parent figure kind of had to hold up a lot of burden. And I think, maybe if the figure in your life when you were young that kind of broke down your self-esteem was the person that I saw here, that maybe that didn't necessarily treat you the best, was because of a lot of the burden that they had to bear alone, they were taking out on you and maybe your siblings if you have siblings. But yeah, not a lot of money. Let me see what else here. And perhaps they also struggled with addiction as well, and that's a kind of a generational burden that was passed down, but you were able to bypass it, or you will here if you're still struggling in that way. You will be able to break through it if you haven't already, releasing that burden, balancing things, yep. And then, yeah, the 9 of Coins reversed is... I don't know if also that parental figure spent a lot of money that they shouldn't have. Maybe they had spending addictions, a shopping addiction. That could be another thing here. But yeah, in general, pile number 3s, it seems your childhood had a lot of burden and financial burden in general. Perhaps a death when you were young that was impactful upon you, that caused a lot of the pain, that caused these issues in your life that you were able to transmute, or will be able to transmute into gold, creative passions, things that you share with others, right? Next cards I have are how you've helped people already. And you received the 10 of Pentacles. That's the legacy card. If you haven't had children already, I think because this is past energy, you already have. Also the 7 of Cups reversed and the 6 of Wands upright. If you haven't had children already, or you're going to have children, you've broken that generational cycle of these issues from what was going on in your childhood. You haven't passed that down. You've made it a more positive... you're kind of breaking a cycle of generational trauma is what it's called. So I don't know if you've inspired siblings to kind of go a different path than your parent, but you were like the first one of your siblings that made it out of that darkness. Also making better choices in life. You've inspired other people to not take the easy choices here with the 7 of Cups reversed. You've inspired people to and yourself likely here with this past energy of victory here with the 6 of Wands. Breaking generational trauma, breaking the inclination to make bad choices, and riding to victory instead. Yep. So I think for most of you pile number 3s, if this addiction or this pain is a factor in your life, it's something that happened in the past. So I think most of you've already gotten through this, and you're already kind of at that stage of transmuting it into creative passions to share with the world here. That's kind of where you're at. Yeah, you broke the cycle, or you will, but this is past energy, so I think most of you have already gotten past that, and if you have children, you've already been treating them a lot better than the experience that you had in childhood, so. Alright, and then let's get some advice for the near future for you, pile number 3s. I asked Spirit to kind of help you, give you some signposts for the impact you'll have in the future here, just advice and continuing on this path of metamorphosis and change. And you received the 5 of Swords reversed, the Queen of Pentacles, financial stability again is indicated here, and then the 10 of Cups reversed. So let me look at this for 1 second. So advice in the near future. I don't know if you've been considering breaking up with a romantic partner, because the 10 of Cups here reversed is kind of an indication of that. I don't know if maybe some of the issues you had in childhood had continued to adulthood in terms of how it affected how you choose romantic partners. A lot of conflict I see here with the 5 of Swords reversed, a lot of unhappiness with the 10 of Cups reversed here, especially because this is like a married couple. So this advice for you is to follow stability and follow safety and happiness and security for yourself, and move away from things that bring you unhappiness, especially in relationships, but also move away from conflicts in your life. So if this is energy that you're still running into, maybe not necessarily like, maybe you've already gotten over that addiction part or the self-esteem issues, but you're maybe running into it with romantic relationships or your relationships that are platonic with other people in your life right now, try to keep moving away from that, because right now what's most important for you in the near future, pile number 3s, is that internal stability. And if you're already at that for yourself, this could also be advice and the impact you have with others to help. Maybe there is someone in your life, if it's not you, that's having these issues with someone in their life that's creating a lot of conflict and, leading to a lack of stability in their life. You're being advised to help this person find the stability that you have, that they're maybe struggling with right now. So something to do with either yourself or someone else around you that's having maybe romantic issues or a lot of conflicts, and guiding them with the lessons that you've learned towards stability internally and safety and security. So, let's see if there's any other messages for you, pile number 3. Yeah, so for you, pile number 3, I see a time of a lot of darkness when you were young, in terms of just a lot of pain. Definitely the heaviest energy here from all the piles today. I think you probably struggled the most. Not that, of course, it's not a competition with the other piles, but there's a lot more heavy energy here. But I also see a lot of positivity in that you, because of the things that you went through when you were younger, or you're still maybe currently kind of growing out of, there's a lot of light you have to share with the world, where you've transmuted mud to gold, is how I would say it. Like I said, that alchemy thing in the beginning, that metamorphosis with the frog and the lotus, right? Helping people with their addictions or getting over your own, and just in the way that you're proof to others that it is possible to break free and find that stability and that self-esteem and that freedom from things that chain us, like addictions and other things like that. And even if it's not like a physical addiction to something like alcohol, just for example, it could also be like people having like an addiction to intangible things. So maybe an addiction to relationships, or maybe an addiction to, like I said, video games is another thing, or an addiction to, what's another good example? Just in general, like you're a type of person that helps inspire other people to break free from the things that chain them, I guess. So you're kind of if I were to summarize you in one word, pile number 3s, you're kind of a chain breaker alchemist, right? Let me look at your Lenormand cards one more time. Yeah. So yeah, I think you did have some figure in your life early on that was maybe a little brutal with their words, or they muddied the waters on who you thought you were. And a lot of your struggle so far in life, pile number 3s, has been finding who you truly are deep down, despite what that person said to you, or despite the pain, the layers of pain. Because kind of like, I don't mean to make a joke, but if you ever watch Shrek, like, Shrek says people like onions have layers, right? And your path in life has been finding who you are underneath all those layers of the onion, so to speak. Using Shrek's example. I can't believe I'm using Shrek in a tarot reading. But hey, a lot of people have seen it, so great example, right? Finding who you are underneath all those layers of the onion and rediscovering that person deep down that was obscured by a lot of like metaphorical mud in your life, I guess is how I would say. And once again, transmuting it to gold in terms of creativity or inspiring others to do that. So yeah, I'm going to take a drink 1 second. My voice is getting kind of scratchy. I apologize. I'm going to ask Spirit to give me one more card here with the future advice. Spirit, can you give me one more card for pile 3s for future advice here? What's going on with either themselves or this person that's having like a relationship or conflict issue with stability? The King of Cups reversed. I don't know. It's either that you're in a relationship with someone that's abusive emotionally, or this person that you're supposed to help here in the near future is in a relationship with someone that is not good with emotions. This could be emotional abuse, like I'm saying. This could be someone that is kind of poisonous to the heart. So I think the impact you'll have on them, if this is someone else, pile number 3s, is helping them get away from that situation of emotional abuse. I think because of the situation that you had when you were younger, knowing how to break out of it yourself. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think this is someone else in your life, pile 3s, but if this is you that is in a romantic relationship currently that's not serving you, you're definitely being advised to move past it here, because I just see a lot of unhappiness cards in general. Yeah, but I think for most of you, this is someone else in your life that you're meant to impact or help break away from that unhappiness. Yep. All right, well, pile number 3 is my lovely alchemists, my lovely lotuses. I guess is kind of another symbol I would use to describe you. I hope that reading was helpful for you today. I will see you at some point in the future in a different reading, I hope, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day.